Good evening to all. Welcome to the session 200 grammar rules. We are dealing with pronouns. Already have learned rules related to nouns, and right now I am teaching rules related to pronouns. Regarding pronouns, you have got 8 rules so far. You have got rules related to personal pronouns, correct order of pronouns, then reciprocal pronouns, reflexive pronouns, and emphatic pronouns. Today you're going to get 4 rules. Yesterday I saw the feedback. Many students said, "Sir, we want only 4 rules every day." We'll stick to that initially. Later we'll see whether to increase the number or not. So when it comes to the 4 rules today, you're going to learn 4 types of pronouns. With each one, there's one rule you're going to learn. Let us start 32 over. Today, the first one, rule number 33. Again, related to pronouns. When we talk about pronouns, already have learned personal pronouns, reciprocal pronouns, reflexive pronouns, and emphatic pronouns. The next one, indefinite pronouns. Indefinite pronouns are very important from the exam point of view. Quite often they ask questions. What are indefinite pronouns? They are not specific. When I say he is a student, that is specific. She is a teacher, that is specific. But sometimes we talk generally. When we talk generally, it is not specific. Indefinite pronouns are not specific. What are the typical examples that go with indefinite pronouns? None, one, someone, somebody, nobody, everyone, everybody, anything, anyone. These are not specific, very general. These are known as indefinite pronouns. Of these pronouns, 2 are very important. 3 are important. Third one is rather easy. If at all there is a question, you will be able to manage. The two indefinite pronouns that are important, one is none, the other one is one. These two, they have been asking questions. One of the reasons they go with common errors. Now look at the examples. Someone brought these yesterday. Now what is the subject here? Someone, not specific. It is an indefinite pronoun. Nobody called last night. Nobody called last night. Nobody, not specific. Everyone is interested in the subject. Everyone, again, not specific. Anyone can meet the minister. Anyone can meet the minister, not specific. All these are examples for indefinite pronouns. Now let us go to rule number 33. This is an important rule and they have given in many exams. This rule goes with the indefinite pronoun none. Now listen very carefully. The indefinite pronoun none usually takes a plural verb. Example, none have come today. However, if it is followed by certain phrases, phrases like of the students, of the employees, of the tourists, it takes a singular verb. Listen very carefully. None usually takes a plural verb. In the exam, they don't touch that particular dimension. But, however, if the indefinite pronoun none is followed by certain phrases, what are those phrases? Of the students, of the employees, of the boys, of the girls, any of these, then we should use a singular verb. None takes a singular verb. Look at the second example. None of the students. Now, what is the subject here? None is the subject. After that, there's a verb, there's a phrase. What is a phrase? Of the students. None of the students, because none is followed by a phrase like of the students, we have to use a singular verb. It has to take a singular verb. Based on that second example, none of the students has come today. A lot of people say none of the students have come today. What is the reason? They focus on the word students, which is plural. But here, what is the subject? It is not students, it is none. Example, third example, none of the employees has reported. None of the employees, there's a phrase after the subject none. Then it takes a singular verb. None of the employees has reported. Now, have you got this? Please answer. Is this rule clear? I will give you a second. If you have a question, please ask. If not, I'm going to talk about all those things. Let me complete all the 4 rules. Now, coming to the first one for today, rule number 33. Remember, exam point of view, what is important? None usually takes a plural verb, but that they don't touch. If it is followed by phrases, certain phrases of the employees, of the tourists, of the boys, of the girls, then it takes a singular verb. Now let us go to rule number 34 actually. No, still with 33, because I said indefinite pronouns, two are very important. One is none, the other one is one. I'm still with rule number 33. What is this one? If the indefinite pronoun one is the subject in a sentence, we should use one or once in the same sentence or in the same clause, not a personal pronoun, not a possessive pronoun, to refer to the subject, that is one. It looks a little complicated. I'll try to simplify that. Imagine in a sentence, the word or the indefinite pronoun one is a subject. A lot of people, what they do when they want to refer to the subject one, either they use a personal pronoun or they use a possessive pronoun. You cannot use. Look at the first example. One should always remember. Now, what is the subject of this sentence? One. Then in the same sentence or in the same clause or in the same sentence another clause, we should use to refer to that word one, to the subject one, we should use either one or once. Depends on the idea. One should always remember one's duty. A lot of people say one should always remember his duty. That's a common error. It is not correct. One should always remember one is a subject, we should use. It talks about possession. One's duty, ONE apostrophe S. One should not forget what one has to do. A lot of people say one should not forget what he has to do. You cannot use a personal pronoun. One should not forget one's duty. Here people say one should not forget his duty. Possessive pronoun, not correct. One should not forget what he has to do wrong, what one has to do. What is the reason? The subject is one. If the subject is one, we should use either one or once in the same sentence or in the same clause or another clause in the same sentence. I hope it's clear. Third example, one should always respect. People say one should always respect his elders. That is not correct. One should always respect one's elders. What is the reason? One is a subject, it talks about possession. Then we have to use a possessive case. What is a possessive case over here? For one, it is one's. One should always respect one's elders. I hope this is clear. Now, rule number 34. Now, rule number 33 is over. I said there are three dimensions. I have talked about two of them, none, one. What is the third one? Everyone. When you see the sentence that begins with everyone, it's quite obvious that it takes a singular verb. This is an easy one. That's the reason why I haven't brought that as a rule. In some exams, they've given a sentence like, everyone were given the material. That is not correct. Everyone means you're talking about one, not more than one. Then you cannot say everyone were given. That is not correct. Everyone was given the material. That's an easy one. A lot of students can easily spot the error. Now let us go to rule number 34. What are these distributive pronouns? Even these are very important from the exam point of view. Distributive pronouns, indefinite pronouns, many. None, one, everyone, everybody, someone, somebody, anybody, anyone. So many are there. But three are important: none, one, and everyone. Distributive pronouns are only three in number. What are those three? Distributive pronouns are three in number. They are each, either, neither. Now listen very carefully. When I say either, neither, you may think of conjunctions. Either or, neither nor. They are conjunctions. Here you don't see or. Only either, neither. Each, either, neither. These three are pronouns. They are not conjunctions. And there's an important rule that goes with distributive pronouns. What is that rule? Distributive pronouns always take a singular verb. They never take a plural verb. Look at the examples. Each of the students has been given the material. Each of the students, in the exam, you may get a sentence like, each of the students have been given the material. That is not correct. Each of the students has been given. Either of the magazines are acceptable. In the exam, you may get a question like that. Now, a lot of students, those who are not aware of the rule, they focus on the word magazines. Magazines, next to it, the verb. It is known as error of proximity. They think magazines plural, we should use a plural verb. So either of the magazines are acceptable. They go for the fifth option. No error. No, it is not correct. either of the magazines is acceptable. The third example, very important. There's so many ways to test your knowledge when it comes to the third example, the word neither. Neither of them has come. In the exam, they may give it. They may give neither of them have come. Then plural. If you don't know the rule, you use your logic. Obviously, you think the sentence is right, but it is not correct. Neither of them has come. I hope this is clear. Now, rule number 35. This is also very important, especially when it comes to descriptive paper letter writing. Please listen very carefully. Possessive pronouns. The type is possessive pronoun. What is the rule? Possessive pronouns denote possession. They express possession, ownership. Possessive pronouns never take an apostrophe. This is a rule. When it comes to possessive pronouns, you should never use an apostrophe. Usually, possession, already you have learned in English, how do we express a possession? By using an apostrophe and the letter S. But when it comes to possessive pronouns, we should not use any apostrophe. We should not use an apostrophe and the letter S. That's a common error. Look at these examples. These books are mine. Mine is a possessive pronoun. Those magazines are his. His is a possessive pronoun. It is hers. Some bag. Whose bag is this? It is hers. Hers is a possessive pronoun. The house is ours. Whose house is this? This is our house or this is ours. All these are possessive pronouns. Already have learned the different forms: subject form, object form, and subject form, reflexive form, subject form, emphatic form. Now, today you're going to learn the subject form and possessive form. What are these forms? Possessive forms. Possessive forms, you see two words, but when it comes to usage, the second one becomes an adjective, possessive adjective. I'll give the example, then you understand. I is a subject form, first person singular. For that, what is the possessive form? Mine or my. But mine is purely a pronoun, possessive pronoun. My, it changes to a possessive adjective. We, ours, our. He, only one form, his. That's why there's a star mark. She, hers, her. It, its. Only one form. So there's a star mark. They, theirs, their. Now listen very carefully. When it comes to a question like, whose bag is this? Answer, imagine that's my bag. Someone says, whose bag is this? I want to respond. I have two sentence patterns to use in English. One, I can say, it is my bag. One sentence pattern. Second one, it is mine. Now you may ask, so what is the difference between these two patterns? Meaning wise, there is no difference. But the first one, if you take, it is my bag. Bag is a noun. Before that, you have my. My bag. The word my is describing bag, which is a noun. So the word my is an adjective. If you ask the question, which type of adjective is it? It is possessive adjective. And the second example, whose bag is this? It is mine. M-I-N-E. It is a possessive pronoun. They are actually pronouns, but when it comes to usage in the sentence, the word my changes to a possessive adjective. Mine is only a possessive pronoun. I hope it's clear. Now, when it comes to possessive pronouns, I said one important rule. What is that? They never take an apostrophe. When I go to the practice questions, I will show some examples, then I will explain. Do remember the third one. What is the third one here? First person singular, first person plural, third person singular, and second person singular and plural. You, what are the forms? Yours, your. Remember yours. When we go to the practice questions, I'll tell something important. I will explain. Now let us go to rule number 36. This is not that important, but it is important when it comes to para-jumble. This knowledge is important. What is the next type? Demonstrative pronouns. Demonstrate means what? Illustrate. You see something and you ask, what is that? And I hold that and I say, this is. I'm trying to show, I'm trying to demonstrate. These are four in number. Demonstrative pronouns are four in number: this, these, that, and those. I'm talking about something near me, only one, I will say this. More than one, I will say these. Away from me, only one, that. More than one, those. That is a you must be knowing the meaning of all the four demonstrative pronouns. Look at the examples and look at the last sentence over here. They can be demonstrative adjectives as well. There is a problem in English, not exactly a problem, a little confusion. Sometimes what happens when it comes to parts of speech, sometimes we can use the same word as a different part of speech. For example, if you take this, these, that, those, all the four can be pers- demonstrative pronouns or they can be demonstrative adjectives. Now look at the examples. This is a good batch. In this example, the word this is a demonstrative pronoun. The second example, this book is quite expensive. In this example, the word this is describing book, which is a noun. So it changes to, the same word changes to demonstrative adjective. Third sentence, these are amazing. I show something and say, these are amazing. These demonstrative pronoun. Fourth example, these students are really passionate about learning. These students are noun. Before that, the word these. So these changes to demonstrative adjective. But why, you may ask, so why are these important when it comes to parajumble? I'm going to talk about parajumble later, but today just listen and remember, when you handle or tackle parajumble, first you have to eliminate and get the topic sentence or the first sentence. When it comes to elimination, any sentence that has either demonstrative pronoun or demonstrative adjective cannot be the first sentence. You should not consider. That way it is useful. So this is all about the rules related to the four pronouns. What are the four pronouns you have got today? One is indefinite pronoun, very important, none and one. Everyone rather easy. Second, distributive pronouns, again very important, three in number, each, either, neither. Third, possessive pronouns, yours, very important. I'm going to talk about that later. And the last one, demonstrative pronouns, only four in number, useful when it comes to handling parajumbles. Now have a look at practice questions, pronouns. The sentence may be right, may not be right. First, you have a look at the sentence, tell me whether it is right or wrong. None of the tourists have visited the place. Is this sentence right or wrong? Yours obediently, yours lovingly. Without an apostrophe, it is correct. If you use an apostrophe, it is not correct. That is a common error. You're going to get one example. Please answer the first one. Is it right or wrong? None of the tourists have visited the place. Is it right or wrong? It is wrong. Why is it wrong? There is a phrase of the tourists. Of the tourists, if you see the phrase like that, the word or indefinite pronoun none takes a singular verb, not a plural verb. None of the students has tourists. None of the tourists has visited the place. It is not have, it should be has. A few students have got it right. That's very good. One should not forget his duty. Is this right or wrong? Sentence number two, one should not forget his duty. It is wrong. What is the correct one? One should not forget one's duty. That's right. Prithviraj has got it right. One should not forget one's duty. Possessive case. We should not use a possessive pronoun. We should use one apostrophe s. None of the students have submitted the assignments. Is this right or wrong? None of the students have submitted the assignments. Which one is reported? Oh, it's fifth one. Please go do in a systematic way. Sentence number three, it is wrong. What is the correct sentence? None of the students has submitted the assignments. Sentence number four, one should always remember what he has to do. One should always remember what he has to do. None of the students has. One should always remember what one has to do. That's right. Who is this? Sirisha has got it right. After that, Durga Bhavani and Kalyan says it is wrong. It is wrong. What is the reason? Here the subject is one, the indefinite pronoun one. then we should use either one or once. Here we cannot use once, we should use one. One should always remember what one has to do. Now, sentence number 5 is very important. Neither of the employees have reported. It is not correct. It should be has reported. Ravi Teja has got it right. After that, I think a lot of students have answered sentence number 5. I could not see the messages. So neither, it is a pronoun, not a conjunction. Distributive pronoun, they always take a singular verb. Neither of the employees has reported. Either of the magazines are worth reading or is worth reading. Naga Malleshwari has got it right. It is worth reading, not are. What is the reason? The subject is either. Either is a distributive pronoun, always a singular verb. And these are very important from the exam point of view. Yes, Naresh, either of the magazines is worth, and here the noun should be in the plural form. Mind you guys, you cannot say either of the magazine, not correct. Either of the magazines, neither of the students, noun plural, verb singular. That's very good. Please go to sentence number 7. These books are my. Is it right or wrong? It is wrong. These books are mine, or these books are my books. Both are correct. You can say these books are mine or these books are my books. Those packs are him. There is that right or wrong? Sentence number 8, not correct. Those packs are his. His only one form. Possessive adjective or possessive pronoun. Now listen very carefully. Those packs are his. You can stop there. That is right. Those packs are his packs. Same form. Either way, it is correct. Sentence number 9. He ended the letter with ha. This is the most important sentence. I've been waiting for this. Here, a lot of candidates, a lot of students are not aware of this. And in our country, unfortunately, maybe in other countries also, a lot of people, when it comes to letter writing, while closing the letter, they close yours sincerely, yours truly, yours whatever. They use yours apostrophe S. Already have got the rule. What is the rule? Possessive pronouns never take the apostrophe. So it is not correct. Without the apostrophe, it is correct. He ended the letter with yours sincerely. Yours, you should not use the apostrophe. And let me tell you, if you make the same mistake in the exam, you will lose 2 marks. They have allotted 2 marks for this letter writing. This bag belongs to her or hers. This bag belongs to her, not hers. Tense has its rule. What does it mean, Pranav? Tense has its rule. Hmm. Please go to question number 11. These kids are theirs. Question number 10. No, it is not correct. This bag belongs to her. Whose bag is this? It is her bag. One answer. This bag belongs to her. Another answer. Both mean the same. Sentence number 10 is not correct. It is not hers. It should be her. No, 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 no. Sentence number 10 is not correct. Please listen very carefully. Sentence number 10. This bag belongs to hers. Not correct. This bag belongs to her. You can say that. Imagine someone asked a question. Whose bag is this? You can say, this bag is hers. One sentence. Second sentence, this bag belongs to her. So her, here the form changes. Her bag, what does it mean? Her bag. It is her bag. So sentence number 10 is not correct. Sentence number 11, these kids are theirs. When we use hers, whose bag is this? It is hers. After that, nothing. It is his. It is hers. It is mine. It is ours. It is yours. You have to stop there. Then it is correct. I hope you got it, Rajshekhar. Hmm. Question number 11, sentence is right. These kids are theirs. Nothing wrong with that. Sentence number 12, it is an interesting story. This is also an important question, important sentence. Here, when I tell students, first you answer. Sentence number 12 is correct. Now, when I teach students a particular rule, what is that rule? We should not use the apostrophe with possessive pronouns. Some students look at me, then I ask, you have a question? They say, sir, we have seen in newspapers, magazines, it's, it apostrophe yes. Then I tell them, it's is not the possessive case. It is a short form of either it is or it has. It is interesting. What is the full form here? It is an interesting story. Here it doesn't talk about possession. I told the rule categorically. What is the rule? When we talk about possessive pronouns, they never take an apostrophe. Here it is not talking about possession. It is a short form of it is. In English, we can use the apostrophe for two functions. One, usually for possession. Second, for short forms. It is short form, it's. It doesn't talk about possession. I hope it's clear. That's good. Sentence number 13. I wonder if it is our. Is that right or wrong? I wonder if it is our. It is an emergency. It is a short form. It's an emergency. Here, it doesn't talk about possession. Now, catch the key word. Only possession, possessive pronouns don't take the apostrophe. But in English, we use an apostrophe for two functions. One, to express possession. Second, for short forms. Now, when it comes to short forms, any pronoun you can use the apostrophe. It is interesting. It's interesting. That's interesting. Nothing wrong because it doesn't talk about possession. Now, 13, is it right or wrong? It is wrong. It should be. I wonder if it is ours, not our. Sentence number 14, each candidate, each is distributive pronoun. They always take singular verb. Based on that, it is not correct. It should be. Each candidate has been informed. These kids are theirs. These kids are theirs. Sentence number. What is wrong with that? Nothing wrong with that. It is right. Who is this Naresh? Sentence number 8 is absolutely right. Nothing wrong with sentence number 8. These kids, whose kids are these? Imagine the question. I see some kids, I ask the question, whose kids are these? Someone says, these kids are theirs, or these are theirs. Perfect. Absolutely no problem. It means what? These kids belong to them. Naresh, is that clear? Each candidate has been informed, not have been informed. Now, if you have a question regarding these rules, please ask me. I will give a few seconds. The four rules you have got today: indefinite pronoun, distributive pronoun, possessive pronoun, and the demonstrative pronoun. Not that important. If you say there, you have to use a noun. What is the reason? Theirs is purely a pronoun, but there, after there, you have to use a noun. You don't see the noun there. Now, if you are trying to find out, sir, can we use there, add one more word and make it correct? Answer yes. For the same idea, let me tell you, then I think you will get clarity. I saw some kids. I asked the question, whose kids are these? Now, someone to my left, he wants to answer. He can use two patterns. Whose kids are these? Sir, these are their kids. That is right. Sir, these are theirs. That is also right. If you use theirs, then after that, nothing should be there. If you use their, then you have to use the noun. Their kids. Kids should be there. I hope you got it, Naresh. Say yes or no. Their kids means theirs. either theirs or their kids. Either way, it is correct. Please respond, Naresh. If you say yes, sir, then we'll go to questions from previous year's papers. Others, if you have a question, please ask. Thank you very much. Who is this? Veeranath. Thank you very much. Now let us go to questions from previous year's papers. The first five questions, you can see the side heading, error location related. Error location. Each candidate has been informed, each student has been, yes, that's right, Rajshekhar. Thank you very much. Harshavardhan. Please go to, thank you very much. Question number one, error location. Mobile phones are so important these days that they are no longer luxury items but have become a necessity. Oh, Kalyan is the first one to respond. That's wonderful. After that, I see Rajshekhar and Prithviraja, so many students. They say second option. Aniket also says second option. Yes, Raviteja, important. It is not importance. What is the right word here? Important. Mobile phones are so important that are so important these days that they are no longer luxury items but have become a necessity. So important. Now, what is the difference between importance and important? Here, so important, the word should be an adjective. Importance is noun. Important adjective. Here we cannot use a noun form, we should use an adjective form. Important question, important person. So, important adjective, importance noun. Now, there are two ways of looking at it to answer this question. This question is about word forms. Listen very carefully. Quite often in competitive exams, they ask questions related to word forms. Same word, right word, wrong form. Then comes the question how to know. I've seen thousands of students. This is an easy question, but many students find it difficult. What is the reason? They are not aware of the word forms. It is not their mistake. School level, they don't teach. But actually, when you learn a particular word, I always tell students you have to learn the part of speech, meaning, examples, word forms, word combinations, usage, synonyms, antonyms. These are very important, especially word forms. If you focus from day one on word forms and word combinations, these are easy questions. They become silly questions rather. One reading you can make out. Now, please go to question number two, error location. Yes, MENT, noun, important. It is not like that. Importance, noun, important adjective. Please go to question number two, where is the error? Yes, there is one particular rule. I don't want to discuss that here. So that, such that, there are two expressions. You will get under adverbs. When you use so that goes with adjectives and adverbs. He is so clever that he could do the work within no time. So clever, adjective. She has done so well that, well, adverb. That you will learn later. The process was too simple and easy to understand that it hardly took 5 minutes for us to grasp it. There is an error. Who is this? Prithviraja, I don't know others. I could not see. There is an error. The second part, or here they have shuffled the parts. The process was too simple. That is not correct. The process was so simple and easy to understand that. Remember, so that, that is a phrase. That's like a phrase. So here, what is the answer? The process was so simple and easy to understand that it hardly took 5 minutes for us to grasp it. So that, so that goes with adjectives and adverbs. Now let us go to question number three. The decapitated, that's an important word. If someone removes the head from the body, there are two words for that. One is decapitated. The other one, beheaded. Beheaded. Decapitated, beheaded. Both mean the same. The decapitated body of a young girl was discovered yesterday. Yesterday means it should be in in past. Was discovered, passive voice. They discovered something yesterday. Something was discovered by them yesterday. Nothing wrong with that. Who is this? Naga Malleshwari says no error. Only one student has said no error. That is the answer. There is no error. The decapitated body means a beheaded body. Head removed from the body. We use two words: decapitated or beheaded. BE, headed. The decapitated body, the beheaded body of a young girl was discovered yesterday. Nothing wrong with that. No error. Very good. I appreciate. I don't know how many of you have thought no error. Answer is no error. Now you may ask, sir, how do we know? How can we go for the fifth option? Please listen. I will spend not a minute, a few seconds. When you want to choose a fifth option, no error, or fourth option, whatever, no error, then you have to divide the sentence: subject, verb, object, subject related phrases or clauses, object related phrases or clauses. Look at each one individually. Everything falls in place, no error. Whose body? What is the subject here? The decapitated body, that is a subject. Adding information to that, there is a phrase of a young girl. The decapitated body, nothing wrong. Of a young girl, nothing wrong. Was discovered. That means you have to tell yourself it is in passive voice, past tense. And passive voice, past tense, or active voice, past tense, we need the time in the past, yesterday. So everything is perfect, no error. The sentence is in passive voice, past tense. The subject we don't mention, it is not that important. Now, what could be the actual sentence? What could be the actual sentence in active voice? They discovered the decapitated body of a young girl yesterday. By them, we don't mention, it is not important. When you change it to passive voice, what do you get? The decapitated body of a young girl was discovered by them yesterday. By them, we don't mention. Invented, discovered. What is the difference? Invention is something like creating something new. Invention, creating something new. Discover, already something is there and you find out that one, then you have to use the word discover. Discover goes with something already in existence. Invention goes with something new. Found, but here perhaps it is related to investigation. Related to investigation. That's a very good question. Who is this? Aniket. I appreciate. That's a very good question. But sometimes what happens, they try to take sentences from a context. We are not sure about the context. And if it is related to investigation, and they have been searching, then we don't use the word found. Casually found the dead body, but discovered means they were searching or they had been searching. That could be the context. That's a very good question. Question number four, we are still with arrow location. Question number four. Can't it be was found yesterday? That's what you see there. That's what I've just answered that doubt. Aniket wanted to know why not found. As I said, we don't know the context. Perhaps they were searching. While searching, obviously, we use the word discover. Usually we don't, based on the context. That's a very good question. I appreciate, really appreciate. Question number four. We really wanted to go to the park, but we were told not to go out if it rained. Yes, many students have got it right within no time. The entire context goes into the past. We wanted verb in the past, but we were told. They told us, we were told by them. Again, past tense passive voice. Two verbs in past, one cannot be in present, usually. So if it rained, not rain, the verb should be in the past. If it rained, what is the answer based on that? It is the correct expression. If it rained, not rain. Not rains, because here the context goes into the past. Rains goes with open conditional, future and present. That is open conditional. But here the context goes into the past. You cannot use the present if it rains is not correct. If it rained, what is the reason? The whole thing goes into the past. That is context. Context is important. The International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking is observed on June 26th, fast approaching. The International Day Against Drug Abuse. Abuse means misuse. If you ask, so what is the word meaning of the word abuse? It has got two or three meanings. One is misuse. Another meaning, you shout at someone using bad language. That is known as abuse. He abused me, she abused me. Bad language or foul language. Who says Bhagyashri and some more students say no error? 26th June, nothing wrong with 26th June 26th. In letter writing also, you can write it June 26th or 26th June or 26.06. That way also, absolutely no problem. Nagamaleshwari has got it right. It is not traffickings. It is only trafficking. Drug abuse and illicit trafficking, not traffickings. There is no word like traffickings. That is wrong. Now look at the answer. Drug abuse and illicit trafficking. Now let me tell, drug abuse, abuse is an important word. Abuse means misuse. Usually it goes with power, misuse of power, abuse of authority. Here, misuse of drug abuse. Illicit means illegal, something that is not legal. Trafficking itself is illegal. It is not legal. Trafficking means what? Selling either drugs illegally or selling kids and girls illegally. Now, sometimes what happens? Misuse of power, that is right. Child human trafficking, there's a problem. So many countries have this problem. We have the same problem in our country as well. What is that problem? Human trafficking. What is this human trafficking? Some unscrupulous people, they go to villages or tribal areas, they take the kids, they take the girls, the boys, and the girls are sold. They take them to the major cities, they are sold. They take them to the red light areas, they're sold over there. They get into prostitution, and boys are taken to industries where child labor is involved, like carpet industry, fireworks industry, matchbox industry. So it's a major problem in our country. A lot of NGOs are working against human trafficking. In my opinion, illicit is not the right word over here. Illicit trafficking is illicit. We should not say illicit traffickings. Traffickings is absolutely wrong. Can we use definite article the before drug abuse? No, no need. The International Day Against the Drug Abuse. Here we cannot say the drug abuse. Not correct. Now let us go to question number. Now you have questions for the first time. I have brought 5 questions related to passive voice. Passive voice. Rajshekar, no Rajshekar, we cannot use the definite article the in this context. Hundreds of women being entered Bangalore by illicit trafficking. Yes, of course, it happens. It's a major problem, not only in our country, many countries have the problem of human trafficking. Okay, now please go to the next 5 questions, deal with passive voice. The sentence could be an active voice or passive voice. You have to change. Does he race cars? Now, what is the answer? Answer is now when it comes to passive voice, subject becomes object, object becomes subject, and the tense is very important. Here, tense is important, and also the form is important. The form can be affirmative, interrogative, negative. You got to be very careful when it comes to interrogative and negative forms. Affirmative rather easy. Does he race cars? Interrogative. Here, the answer is the second option. Are cars raced by him? What is the answer? Second option. Many students have got it right. Now, here it's a very short sentence. Does he race cars? Now, imagine a lengthy sentence, then it becomes a difficult question. And sometimes students, they don't get it right. Then what I tell them, I tell students to first get the sentence in active voice. Affirmative. He races cars. He races cars. Affirmative present tense. Change it to passive voice. Cars are raced by him. He races cars. Cars are raced by him. Then that is affirmative passive voice present tense. Change it to interrogative. How do you change to interrogative? All that you have to do, take the helping verb to the first position and rewrite the sentence. You get the interrogative form. Cars are raced by him. Take R to the first position, rewrite. Are cars raced by him? That is the answer. No ambiguity. You can be damn sure about that. This is one technique. One of the techniques I tell students how to change active voice to passive voice. They play board games at the clubhouse. This is also in present tense. They play what? They play board games at the clubhouse. It is affirmative. Active voice, you have to change it to passive voice. They play what? Board games. Board games is object. Object becomes a subject. How many options begin with the board games? 1 and 4. 2 is ruled out. 3 is ruled out. Board games are played by them at the clubhouse. Board games are played by them at the clubhouse. Both look alike. How were played. Fourth option is not correct. What is the reason? It has been changed to past. You cannot change it to past because the given sentence isn't present. Based on that, what is the answer? The first option is the answer. Board games are played by them at the clubhouse. See, when it comes to passive voice or reported speech, try to use some clues. They play board games. Board games object, that becomes a subject. How many options begin with board games? Only two. Don't consider the remaining two, save your time. Now let us go to first you look at the question, don't look at the blue box. Look at the question, try to change. She is reading a novel. There are so many techniques to answer the questions. To save your time, slowly I'll be teaching. First, you should know which tense is this, present continuous. And she is reading what? A novel. Novel becomes a subject. How many options are there with a novel, starting with a novel? Only one option, 1 second, you can decide the answer. What is the answer? The fourth option is the answer. A novel is being read by her. A novel is being read by her. You don't have to go through all these. Quick glance. How many options begin with a novel? Only one. That is the answer. You don't have to go beyond that. Now, last 2 days, some students have been waiting. This question is being answered by me. Okay. They have been asking, sir, the list of English novels, fiction. I don't want to give non-fiction at this stage. When I was young, I would read these. These during my time very popular. I don't know whether they are still popular or not, and they deal with different genre. What is the first one? Chase books. James Hadley Chase. Very exciting. Yes, please have a look at the box on the right. Now, question answer over. I'm still with the same slide. Have a look at that blue box with the white letters. So here, James Hadley Chase. Chase books very popular when we were young. They're very exciting, hero, heroine, villain, like our typical commercial movies. And Agatha Christie, her novels deal with suspense thrillers. See, each one deals with a different aspect. That way, I'm going to suggest the four. One is James Hadley Chase, full of entertainment, commercial stuff, like our commercial movies. Agatha Christie, a lady, her novels known for suspense thrillers, very exciting. They keep you on the nerves, on the edge. That means what? Nerve biting novels. Mills and Boone, they are known as romantic novels. They deal with romance, Mills and Boone. And the last one, early Stanley Gardner. Stanley Gardner, and there's a particular character called Perry Mason. They deal with the fourth one, Stanley Gardner English novels deal with legal cases. If you read those, you can become very sharp all about the legal cases. And the main character, Perry Mason, he deals with different cases, his sharpness and his intelligence. The fourth one is really good when it comes to developing analytical skill or becoming sharp. So try to read these, but don't spend too much time on English novels. That is a suggestion from my end. Once a week, every Sunday, try to read a few pages. Now, still with voice, please go to, we still have 10 minutes. This letter was written by Mr. Kumar. This letter was written by whom? Mr. Kumar. How many sentences start with? See, that's a very good question. First, let them answer this question, then I will answer your question. Mr. Kumar had written this letter. Answer is the fourth option. Mr. Kumar wrote this letter. They should have given it in present perfect because there is no time. Still, based on the given sentence, was written, that is in past passive voice. And was written by whom? Mr. Kumar. Mr. Kumar becomes a subject. There's a tough question in the sense all the four options begin with Mr. Kumar. But the verb should be in past form. Had written, not past, writes, present, has written, present perfect, had written, past perfect. And only the fourth option is in past form. So that is the answer. Mr. Kumar wrote this letter. Now, someone asked, I think, private, yes, aspirant, so how are these English novels useful? That's a very good question. A lot of, please listen, all of you. I'm going to answer an important question. I think who asked this question? Private working aspirant. So, how are English novels useful? When it comes to in our country, many countries, a lot of people speak English fluently. Many of them are convent educated. And people think if you go to a convent, you can speak fluent English. You can speak English fluently. No doubt that happens. But one of the reasons, not because they go to a convent, because in the school, morning to evening, they listen to the subject, different subjects, geography, history, in English, obviously. That is different. Conversation English is different. Both are entirely different. Both are entirely different. And during the break, they get two breaks or three breaks. They talk to friends. That is also for a short period. Then, how do they become good at conversational English? Many of them, when young, very young, they start with English comics. After that, they go to English novels, fiction. Later, they go to English novels, non fiction slowly, and they read a lot of fiction novels. In fiction novels, you come across conversational English or so called spoken English. There, they pick up all those expressions which go with everyday situations. And there's a joke actually. A lot of people, when they go to someone and ask the question, Sir, I want to speak English fluently, I want to become good at conversational English, what am I supposed to do? Those who are not professionals, they suggest read the Hindu paper. In my opinion, that is not correct. What is the reason? The Hindu paper deals with written English, formal English, effective English. That is different, and conversation English is different, entirely different. Then comes the question, where do we find conversational English? In English novels. Imagine James Hadley Chase. I've given one of the Chase books. The hero goes to a restaurant. He calls a waiter. The waiter comes and says, What would you like to have, sir? What do you have hot? What do you have for breakfast? What do you have for lunch? The hero asks the waiter. The waiter says, See, these are the sentences you need when it comes to conversational English you come across. So that way they're very useful. You can pick up the language, conversational English. And when it comes to conversation, communication skills, you need those phrases, those words, those sentences. I hope you got the answer, private working aspirant. No, one more thing before we go to the next question. Please listen to me. I don't want to show that slide. Don't waste your money on English novels in the sense, don't buy new English novels, new ones. Don't go to a bookshop, don't order online. They're expensive. Don't spend money that way. Go to, if you are in a city or a town, usually in some places they sell old books on the footpath. You must be knowing. So go there. They sell so many old English novels, 10 rupees, 20 rupees, and buy those. You don't have to buy the new ones. Buy those 10 rupees, 20 rupees, 30 rupees. That way you buy, acquire. Don't go to a bookshop and spend money on these English novels. Thank you very much, Rajshekhar. Nice of you. Now, please go to question number 10. We are running out of time. We have exactly 5 minutes. The last question that goes with passive voice or active voice. The flute is being played by Shankar. So, what is the answer? I will show that slide. First, you answer this question and take a pic of that slide. You can take screenshot. Answer is the flute is being played by Shankar. That means this is in present continuous passive voice. Whenever you see the word being, remember after that the verb in the past participle form, remember it should be one of the continuous tenses in passive voice. Is being played, present continuous tense in passive voice. And what is the answer for the same idea in active voice? Shankar is playing the flute. Answer is the second option. Thank you very much. Now, someone wanted me to show, please have a look. James Hadley Chase. They're known as Chase books. Very popular when I was young. I would read quite often. Agatha Christie. If you like murder, suspense, thriller, she is the best. Agatha Christie. She is very popular. Her novels are very popular. Mills and Boone. You want the romantic touch, something related to romance. Mills and Boone, the name of the publisher. You have to buy Mills and Boone. And Stanley Gardner. I strongly recommend all the four categories are important, but Stanley Gardner, all about legal cases. You become very sharp. Your thinking changes because the main character, Perry Mason, he talks about the cases. Very intelligent guy. How he solves the cases in this every novel you come across that. Now let us go to. We have the next five questions, one word substitutes. Interesting. Try to answer quickly. See, if you can afford, wonderful. But what I suggest, go to a place where they sell, usually on the footpath, or there's a market, old books, and try to buy 20 rupees, 30 rupees. That's enough. Thank you very much. Who is this? Vamsi. Huh. One word substitutes. A small village or a group of houses. What is that? Wonderful. Someone has written all the four. Harshavardhan. I appreciate Harshavardhan. You're trying to help your friends over here on this platform. That's very good. Nice on your part. What is answer? Third option, Hamlet. Village, smaller than village. Only few houses. Excuse me. We use the word Hamlet. Other words are easy. Community, you all know. Settlement, you all know. Colony, you all know. Colony, British English, we say residential area, colony. American English, they say neighborhood. They don't use the word colony, they don't use the word residential area, they use the word neighborhood. Now, in our country, also, neighborhood has become very popular. Please answer question number 12. Excuse me. Put off for a future time. This is an important question. Question number 12, already a few students have answered. Right answer, almost all of them have got it right. It is the third option. What is the third option here? Procrastinate. Not procrastinate, procrastinate, postponing things. It's a bad habit. A lot of people have this bad habit across the world and the corporate world also. Because of that, if you go to the corporate world, big companies, they conduct workshops on motivation, how to avoid procrastination, communication skills, all these things. Not only you, a lot of people have this problem. Procrastination, universal problem. Nothing to worry about that. Only a few don't have this problem. If you are one among them, be happy. The group, especially in the arts, regarded as being the most experimental. They don't follow the regular route, they try to experiment. There's an important question. Question number 13. What is the answer? Defer, postpone. Very good, Naresh. DEFER, postpone. Yes. What is the answer? Hello, who is this? Raju. Hello, Raju. A little late you have come. No problem. It doesn't matter. So, what is the answer? Question number 13. First one is the answer. Avant-garde. T is silent. Avant-garde. Avant-garde, it goes with arts, painting, photography, sculpture, related to the field of aesthetics. Answer is first one, very important. Now we'll see other words. Iconoclast. Already I've got this word. A person who attacks established beliefs or traditions. Someone always attacks established traditions or established systems. Then we use the word iconoclast. And revolutionary, an easy word, nerd. Nerd means someone who is, one of the meanings, who is good at technology, obsessed with technology. Then we use the word nerd. They are very passionate, obsessed with technology. Let us go to question number 14. I will stop after the next one. No problem, better late than never. Something which lasts forever. Better late than never. After that, something which lasts forever. Look at the rhyming. Answer is the first option, eternal. Eternal means what? Forever. Beauty is not eternal. There's a saying related to beauty. Beauty is skin deep. That means temporary. It is not eternal. Youthful, you can make out mortal. Mortal, likely to die. Immortal, no death. Infallible, the last word is very important. Please listen very carefully. What is the meaning of the word infallible? Not perfect. Not perfect. Fallible means has mistakes. Infallible, no mistakes. There's a saying in English. What is that? No one is infallible. No one is infallible in this world. Everyone makes mistakes. So remember the quote, no one is infallible in this world. No one is perfect in this world. Everyone has a few problems here and there. So answer is the first option. Now let us go to question number 15. The schedule of travel. This is also an important question. Oh, thank you very much. Aman, you always try to use nice. I appreciate. You're very spontaneous when it comes to that. I don't know to what extent I deserve all those things, but still I would like to thank you. Thank you very much, Rajshekhar. Nice of you. This is an important question. What is it? The schedule of travel. You want to travel 10 days or 20 days, you have a schedule. First day this, second day that, third day something else. For that, the word answer is the first option. What is the first option here? Itinerary. We don't say that. We say itinerary. Actual pronunciation itinerary, but it sounds a bit difficult. So people say itinerary. Itinerary is enough. That is the answer. Other words are rather easy. Now, quickly answer. We have 5 questions based on idioms. It's already 8:33. You want me to continue or stop? Say yes or no quickly. Very fast. It's already 8:33. You want me to continue 5 questions based on idioms? Say yes, no, then based on that, I will decide whether to wind up or not. Continue, then tell me. If people don't mend their ways, they are sure to go to the dogs. Go to the dogs means what? Just tell the answer. Go to the dogs. Second option, one student says, then I will tell the answer. To be ruined, to get spoiled. There's another idiom. Go down the drain. All his efforts have gone down the drain. All his money has gone to the dogs. Both mean the same. To get ruined, to get spoiled. Now, question number 17. Thanks for responding. Question number 17. What is the answer? I'm sure the girls will fight tooth and nail for their rights. Fight tooth and nail. Oh, who is this? Thank you very much. Gangadhar Reddy. Thank you, Gangadhar Reddy. Nice of you. So, I'm sure the girls will fight tooth and nail. That's an important one. They have given many a time. Answer is with all their might. Answer is the first option, not without any weapon. No, 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 no. Answer is the first option. What is the first option here? With all their might. Might means power. Whatever they have, till the end they fight. Then we say they fought tooth and nail till the end with all the power. Now 18. Let us go to 18. We must draw the line somewhere. We must draw the line somewhere. This is also an important one, but it goes with conversational English. He doesn't know where to draw the line, usually we say. She always knows where to draw the line. Means what? 16 over, 17 over, go to the 18th one. 18th one already have answered. Wonderful. It is second option, fix a limit. Fix a limit. Yes. Now let us go to 19. The day the new product was launched, people made a beeline to purchase it. Even this has been given many a time. Make a beeline. Make a beeline means what? Make a beeline for something. Answer is second option, rush. Rush for something. Question number 19, rush for something. Yes, second option, rush for something. A lot of people rush for something. We say they have made a beeline. The last question for the day. The convict claimed innocence and stood his ground in spite of the repeated accusations. Is also an important one. Stand your ground. And do remember there's a session because one day I could not take the session because of the power cut. Tomorrow evening also there's a session 7:30. Thank you very much. Who is this? Naresh. We are making a beeline for your classes. No, it's too early to say that. What is answer 20? It is fourth option. Refuse to yield. Refused to yield, not to surrender. You keep fighting. You have the same stand. Answer is the fourth option. That's all for today. Thanks for being with me till 8:36. Good night to all of you. And tomorrow there's a session, same time, same master, 7:30. I will see you tomorrow. Thank you very much. We'll continue with rules.